Hello, dear students. So, in the last lecture, we had started the chapter of sexual reproduction in flowering plants, where we had briefly discussed about the overview of this chapter, that what all we will be discussing, and we had seen the introduction of this chapter, where we discussed about the different parts of the flower and how a vegetative shoot or reproductive shoot uh, will be decided by the meristematic tissue or the floral primordium, and then the flower will develop, on which the female reproductive structure or the male reproductive structure or both are born. So these things we already had seen. So then we had started discussing about the male reproductive part, that is the androecium. So in the androecium we already had seen the basic structure of the stamen, and we had seen how the anther filament they are arranged, and we had discussed the part or portions of the stamen. So now we will go into more details, and we will discuss, we will try to understand the structure of sporangium, and then we will see the microsporogenesis. So what is microsporogenesis and how does it take place? These things we will be discussing now in this lecture. So as you all know that microsporangium is the actually uh, it is a bag like structure, or it's a portion where the microspores are formed. Okay, sporangium का मतलब होता है कोई अ, थैली या कोई ऐसी चीज़, कोई ऐसी स्पेस जहाँ पे कोई चीज़ रखी गई है और वो एक प्रॉपर तरीके से चारों तरफ से कवर्ड है, उसको स्पोरेंजियम बोलते हैं. और माइक्रो स्पोरेंजियम मीन्स द sac or the region, the place, a three-dimensional space where the microspores are there. ओके, सो माइक्रोस्पोरेंजियम का स्ट्रक्चर क्या होता है हम ये देखेंगे. सो लेट मी ऑल्सो टेल यू दैट व्हेन अ यंग फ्लावर इज डेवलपिंग, दिस माइक्रोस्पोरेंजियम इज फॉर्म्ड इन द एंथर, and as the anther develops and matures, the microsporangium also develops. So microsporangium का डेवलपमेंट होकर के इवेंचुअली जो माइक्रोस्पोरेंजियम होता है स्टार्टिंग में, वो बाद में उसी को पॉलन सैक बोलते हैं. जब उसमें मैच्योर पॉलन का फॉर्मेशन हो जाता है, then that microsporangium is called as pollen sac. तो actually microsporangium and pollen sac both are synonymous, both have the same meaning, but pollen sac बोलते हैं जब मैच्योर पॉलन उसके अंदर फॉर्मेशन हो जाता है, तो माइक्रोस्पोरेंजियम को आप पॉलन सैक भी बोलते हो. ठीक है, तो ये थोड़ा सा एक टेक्निकल डिफरेंस ये है. जब पॉलन फॉर्मेशन नहीं हुआ होता है उस टाइम तक आप उसको सिर्फ माइक्रोस्पोरेंजियम बोल सकते हो, बट ए मैच्योर माइक्रोस्पोरेंजियम कंटेनिंग द पॉलन इज ऑल्सो कॉल्ड एज पॉलन सैक. तो माइक्रोस्पोरेंजियम दिखने में कैसा होता है? एज वी हैव सीन दैट द एंथर इज अ बाइलोब्ड स्ट्रक्चर एंड इट हैज़ टू थेका, देयर इज ए लाइन ऑफ डिहिसेंस between the two theca. It's a longitudinal line of dehiscence, right? Those things we already had seen in a typical structure of the stamen. तो अगर आप उसका एक सेक्शन काटते हो तो उसका जो माइक्रोस्पोरेंजियम का आउटलाइन है वो एक सर्कुलर आउटलाइन होगा. ठीक है, सो हियर इफ यू सी इन दिस पिक्चर, सो हियर दिस इज द एंथर, एंड इफ यू कट हियर in this way the transverse section, then you see this kind of the four chambers. These chambers, these three-dimensional spaces, these sacs, they are called as microsporangia. तो यहाँ पे चार माइक्रोस्पोरेंजिया आपको दिख रहे हैं, और इफ़ यू सी क्लोजली द माइक्रोस्पोरेंजिया हैज़ ए सर्कुलर आउटलाइन. ठीक है, तो इसी का जो सेक्शन है, इसी को अगर हम एक टिश्यू लेवल के स्ट्रक्चर में डिटेल में देखना चाहें, देन यू कैन सी द फिगर ऑफ फिगर 2.3. हियर दिस इज ए ट्रांसवर्स सेक्शन ऑफ ए मैच्योर एंथर. ओके, तो एक जो एंथर होता है उसमें किस तरह से टिश्यू का अरेंजमेंट होता है, दैट हैज़ बीन शोन इन दिस फिगर ए. सो इफ़ यू सी दिस फिगर ए, there are the detail of the figure A is given in the figure B, which shows the cells or the cellular details. But first let us focus it over here. So here, so you can see clearly that this is one microsporangium. Okay, ये एक चैम्बर बनाएगा eventually. Initially when the pollen when the anther is young, this is actually filled up with the cells, with a homogeneous tissue with the cells, and this does not remain empty. But eventually when the pollen grains will be formed and they will mature, this will be filled up with the pollen, and there will be certain empty space as well. And when the dehiscence from here it will take place, that means जब यहाँ से ब्रेकेज होगा, ये यहाँ से टूट जाएगा या यहाँ से ये ब्रेक ओपन हो जाएगा, तो इसमें से पॉलन ग्रेन्स निकल के बाहर आ जाएंगे. सो नाउ लेट मी डिस्क्राइब इट टू यू. ये एक बहुत ही ईजी देखिए आप स्ट्रक्चर है. सबसे पहले आप ये देखिए कि ये जो बीच का रीजन है ये क्या है, ये सिर्फ एक सपोर्ट प्रोवाइड करता है आज आपका जो एंथर है उसको. तो एक तरह से कनेक्टिव टिश्यू है जो इसको कनेक्ट करता है. जो लॉन्ग फिलामेंट है, स्टॉक है स्टैमेन का, ये उससे रिलेटेड स्ट्रक्चर है. इसका कोई रिप्रोडक्टिव रोल नहीं है. अंदर ये जो स्पेस है, ठीक है, दिस इज फिल्ड विद द टिश्यू विच इज कॉल्ड एज स्पोरोजीनस टिश्यू, एज यू कैन सी हियर. So this sporogenous tissue is actually surrounded by the innermost layer of the microsporangium. So this innermost layer is called as tapetum. यह हो गया tapetum, ठीक है. तो tapetum का जो लेयर है वो डायरेक्टली कांटेक्ट में होता है स्पोरोजीनस टिश्यू के, और ये स्पोरोजीनियस टिश्यू जो है यहीं पे एक्चुअली pollen grain फॉर्म होता है. दिस टिश्यू इवेंचुअली form the pollen grains, which we will see in a while discussing the microsporogenesis. तो इसके बाहर जो ये आपको एक रिंग लाइक स्ट्रक्चर ये दिख रहा है, तो ये जो लेयर आपको दिख रहा है, ठीक है, तो दिस लेयर एक्चुअली इज ए लेयर ऑफ द टैपेटम. तो टैपेटम क्या होता है? दिस इज द इनरमोस्ट लेयर विच सराउंड्स द माइक्रोस्पोरेंजिया, and the cells in the tapetum are actually dense cells. Okay, so these are dense cells, and these cells may have more than one nucleus. They may be binucleate, sometimes multinucleate also, maybe sometimes, but usually they will have more than one nucleus. Generally they will be binucleate, and they will have dense cytoplasm. और इनका फंक्शन क्या होगा? जो अंदर पॉलन ग्रेन्स जो डेवलप होने हैं यहाँ माइक्रोस्पोरेंजियम में, उनको ये नॉरिशमेंट प्रोवाइड करता है, ठीक है. सो नाउ इन एडिशन टू दिस इनर मोस्ट लेयर ऑफ द टैपेटम, नाउ यू कैन सी हियर देर आर 3 more layers. So one is this layer, then this whitish layer, and this is the outermost layer. So there are these 3 layers and the tapetum. So now we see these 3 layers. So the outermost layer, this one, okay, the outermost layer is called as epidermis. Okay, so this outermost layer is called as epidermis. और फिर एपिडर्मिस के बाद जो लेयर पड़ता है, ये जो आपको वाइटिश कलर में यहाँ पे रिप्रेजेंट किया गया है, दिस लेयर इज कॉल्ड एज एंडोथीसियम. ओके, so you can see the spelling here. So this layer is called as endothecium, and the outermost is the epidermis. और उसके बाद जो थर्ड लेयर है आउटसाइड द टैपेटम एंड इनर टू द एंडोथीसियम, दिस लेयर इज कॉल्ड एज द मिडिल लेयर. ओके, मिडिल लेयर इसको इसलिए बोलते हैं क्योंकि देखिए एपिडर्मिस तो सबसे आउटर स्किन हो गया, कवरिंग हो गया. ओके, और जो सबसे इनर लेयर है आपका वो है टैपेटम. ओके, तो टैपेटम और एंडोथीसियम के बीच में ये आता है, इसीलिए इसको मिडिल लेयर बोला जाता है. तो मिडिल लेयर आपका ये हो गया ये वाला पोर्शन. सो मिडिल लेयर इज द लेयर विच इज प्रेजेंट बिटवीन द एंडोथीसियम एंड between the tapetum. This is the middle layer. और बाहर से जो आपका एक outer skin है जो epidermis है वो तो रहता ही है. So this is how you have the 4 layers in the wall, and these layers are epidermis, endothelium, middle layer, and tapetum. Okay, so tapetum actually, what is the function of the tapetum? As I already have told you, it provides nutrition and it has cells with the dense cytoplasm, and these cells are generally multinucleate, okay, usually binucleate. So here you can see now. So actually I ask you all to draw this figure, figure 2.3 section A and section B. So please draw the outline of these figures with the proper labeling. I will not ask you to draw the figure C. This rather you try to understand this figure rather than drawing it, but you must draw the figure A, 2.3A and 2.3B. Okay, so here if you see the details of the figure A in the figure B, you can see this outer layer actually, this is the epidermis, and inner to this now you have the endothelium, and then you have middle layers which may be several layers of the cells. Okay, so this is the epidermis, epidermal layer, and then this is the endothelium, and then these layers are as the middle layers. These may be several layers, and then you have this layer with red nuclei shown here, and you can see that these cells have something, this dark thing is represented inside. So this is actually a dark cytoplasm. This is dark color actually shows that this is a dense cytoplasm. So these are the cells of the tapetum. So these are the layers of the tapetum. Okay, so they will be in direct contact with the developing pollen grains, and they will provide the nourishment. Okay, now in the microsporangium we have seen that there are 4 layers in the wall, and now inside the innermost layer, which is the tapetum, there is this tissue which is the sporogenous tissue. So these cells, they are the cells of the sporogenous tissue. So in a young developing anther, these will be homogeneous cells making the sporogenous tissue, and these cells are actually compactly arranged cells. Okay, and as you can see here in this figure that the sporogenous tissues, sporogenous cells are actually in the middle or at the center, or they main the they form the inside mass of the uh, microsporangium, right? So actually uh, these sporogenous tissue cells, these cells are also called as PMCs or pollen mother cells. PMCs are pollen mother cells, and they are also called as microspore mother cells. Why they are called as mother cells, pollen mother cells? Because these cells actually give rise to the cells of the pollen grain. That is why they are called as pollen mother cells. So this is the structure of the microsporangium. Now let us discuss the process of the microsporogenesis. Okay, so the next topic for your study is microsporogenesis. And let me tell you here that microsporogenesis is a very important topic from both board as well as from NEET point of view. It has been asked repeatedly in the board examinations. So you must understand and remember the microsporogenesis process. So what is microsporogenesis? Microsporogenesis is nothing but formation of the microspores. What are microspores? Microspores are nothing but pollen grains, right? So what happens that the cells of the sporogenous tissue, which are also called as pollen mother cell or microspore mother cell or PMC. So here I have written the full form PMC, pollen mother cell or microspore mother cell. So these cells are actually diploid cells, and these cells actually undergo the process of cell division using the meiosis type of the cell division. Okay, so through meiosis, these cells will make a group or a cluster of the four cells, and this cluster of the four cells is called as microspore tetrads. So each cell of the PMC, each cell of the pollen mother cell will undergo meiosis and will make a microspore tetrad. Okay, where the four cells will be joined together, making a unique structure. So these cells now, after they have undergone meiosis, become haploid, right? So here you can see that PMC was 2n, and now that microspore tetrad cells, they have become n, because you are going to make the uh, male gamete cells over here. So male gametes has to be haploid, it has to be n. So that is why here this meiosis has taken place. Okay, now what will happen, that there will be a maturation of this anther. Okay, so anther is the you, so I hope that you understand and you are able to distinguish between the terms. एंथर का मतलब क्या होता है, माइक्रोस्पोरेंजियम का मतलब क्या होता है, थीका का मतलब क्या होता है, ठीक है, और स्टेमेन का मतलब क्या होता है, ये सब आपको बिल्कुल क्लैरिटी के साथ पता होना चाहिए. अगर आपको कोई भी डाउट है, प्लीज़ आस्क इन द कमेंट, प्लीज़ आस्क इन द मैसेज, जस्ट मैसेज मी एंड आस्क मी. ओके, so once you have these tetrads, eventually the pollen or the anther will mature. So during the maturation of anther, there will be dehydration also, and this cluster of the tetrads will dissociate. So the tetrads will dissociate, and this is how the pollen grains will actually will be formed. So each grain will have the one cell, uh, and that will be having the haploid content of the genome. Once these pollen grains are ready, there will be dehiscence of the anther. That means the anther will break open to release the pollen grains. So the after dehiscence of the anther, pollen grains are released, and each microsporangium will contain several thousands of the pollen grains, which will be released, and they will be ready to be taken to the gynoecium, right? So this is how the uh, cells of the sporogenous tissue, which are homogeneously packed during the young stage of the anther, as the anther matures, these cells will start dividing through the process of meiosis to make the microspore tetrads, and these tetrads will, after maturation of the anther, they will lose the water, they will dehydrate, and the tetrads will dissociate, and beautiful cells or beautiful grains of the pollen will be formed, which will be released, which can be released after the dehiscence. Now let me tell you that the structure of the pollen is also a very beautiful structure. It has been actually very widely appreciated, and uh, the pollens are very unique, and they are architectural marvel in terms of the structure of the pollen grain. So what we have seen here during the microsporogenesis is that how the PMCs led to the formation of tetrad, and eventually the pollen grain are formed. Now we will study this process in more detail actually, and we will see the structure of the pollen grain in the next lecture, and there we will study that how different kinds of beautiful pollen can be there in the nature. You can see figure 2.4, where a scanning electron micrograph of few pollen grains have been shown. These pollen grains have wide variety of the carvings on their outer layer. Here you can see this tetrad, okay, which later dissociates to form a single pollen grain, and then again there will be certain divisions, and so all the details of the pollen we will study in the next lecture. So in the next lecture we will see the structure of the pollen grain. We will see the details of the pollen grain, that how the divisions take place again inside the pollen grain, what is the structure of the pollen grain. There is an outer layer, there is an inner layer, and the next lecture also is very important, and many times in the board exam you are asked to mention or to give the details of the structure of the pollen grain. So uh, we will continue the process of microsporogenesis and the structure of the pollen grain and its further details in the next lecture. Now we will stop here. Okay. Feel free to get back to me if you have any doubt, and draw the diagrams as I have asked you. Okay. So, okay. Thank you. Take care. Bye bye. And keep noting the important points and get back to me for any clarifications. Okay. Bye.